Real Sociedad was one of my favourite teams growing up in Spain, as I was a YouTube kid. And I saw Spencer FC giving money to them. And that money has finally worked, because under Santi Cazorla's return, Oviedo have got to the top flight in Spain, La Liga. And yes, a lot centred around the old man, Santi Cazorla, who was not a failed Wonderkid, lived up to his potential, gone back home, and helped Real Oviedo, as today we're helping them with failed Wonderkids win the Champions League, reviving careers along the way. As yes, people, I'm really excited for this rebuild, but the sad music is playing because we have come to the end of an era. Failed Wonderkid rebuilds on this channel have happened a lot, but this is the final one. We're running out of the failures in Europe. However, still I'm very excited. Rebuilding outside of England again, with Oviedo now in the top division. The best players are these two. In Aaron, the goalkeeper, maybe could get a bit more out of him, but then Santi Cazorla very much near the end of his career here. We've got Colombato, Viñas, Vidal and Calvo. We've also got the new transfers in, like this man, Ilias Charia, who I'm actually gonna have to alter in a minute because I believe he signed permanently with Oviedo. And then the rest of the players not too great. And then actually I got it a little bit wrong. I've had to release a few more players, but then we do have players in, like on loan, Moldovan. I believe this Reina guy's a new signing. Maybe wrong on that. I made these transfers a while ago before actually starting this video. And I have made Chaira a permanent player. He looks really good. As you can see, we're in the top tier of Spain, which is going to be a huge challenge to stay here. But the transfers are a challenge, as yes, we can only sign players that are failed Wonderkids. So they've gone somewhere or just been hyped up in their careers and not reached the hype. For example, João Felix is now at Al Nassr and just not reached the hype. For example, João Felix is now at Al Nassr, and he once was the most expensive signing, going from Benfica over to Atleti Madrid, and just not working out, as the budget is now 7 million. It did take off 2 million from contracts and the players that I've actually had to sign, the real life transfers. So yeah, 7 million should be good enough, because we're obviously just signing failures, which should be cheaper players now. Still, I do have a list together, and if we are to survive in this top division, we definitely need some defenders in. Now we can make some changes to this lineup already, like so, and we've got a young left back. Still, he probably needs replacing. Then we've got to get some centre backs into this squad. The right back potentially could survive for now. And sometimes it is easier to change formation to a 3-back with these failed Wonderkid videos, because most of the failures are further forward. The defenders are really hard to find, with Callum Chambers being the first one. But before I actually go and sign him, there is 2 failed Wonderkids at the back, both ex-Arsenal, as Rob Holding is another one. So these 2 were together, I believe, and now they're really old. They're both 72 overall. Will they really help us survive in La Liga? Well, maybe, because I am going to boost the potential of these lads with Callum Chambers in first. He's come from Cardiff City. Then we've got Rob Holding, who we actually managed to get for quite cheap, so them 2 are going to be in our defense. As I am going to be changing the formation, I've decided I am going to go for a 3 at the back shape if we can find one. There we go. Santi Cazorla can sit in that hole. We can get an extra striker into our formation, which will be helpful in the future. And we definitely don't want Santi Cazorla as a half winger. Shadow striker. That'll do for now. Keep the players relatively comfortable. And we'll train this Vidal guy to become a defender. We'll actually just make a change up front with Almiao. Yes, I am trusting this forward line, as I do want to get my defenders in first, but this guy has got plenty of actual play style, says Weigl. He is 28, really wanted to get him in, but it looks like we're going to be unable to. So now we need to go for a different Wonderkid. We're going to save him, because I think we could change him into a centre-back. However, for now, we're going to have to go for yet another English playmaker, and this is Louis Barry, who's only 21 still, but had numerous clubs he's been on loan to. Who is this guy? As you can see, I'm training him as a cam. He takes 79 weeks, and he has been in La Liga before, or not La Liga, but being on the books of a La Liga team. He was in La Masia, in Barcelona's academy. And since then, he's been passed around by the likes of West Brom, Stockport and Hull City, and Aston Villa, so I give him the number 10 shirt. He should be training now as a cam, as now our highest rated is only Aaron. And then Chara. Fede Viñas looks okay, if we could get a bit of potential out of him. We've got this man I actually forgot to put on a centre-back drill, but that's because I've been loaning out the youngsters to get game time. Cardero, now 21. We've got Lopez, Navarez, Sanchez, and Esteban. This one I'm really excited about as goal scoring in our league. We've got Viñas with 19, Santi Cazorla still getting 13. A successful cam right there, and he's still doing it as Rob Holding and Chambers. The Chuckle brothers, not too well, but if they could hit the 75, that would make them a gold card, and hopefully they keep growing after that. Because honestly, there's not many failed Wonderkids, and honestly, that is a beautiful finish. I expected us to go straight back down, but we have finished 12th in La Liga on 50 points. That's brilliant. Levante, Alaves, and Espanyol all relegated, meaning hopefully we get a better budget next year. Should be a La Liga quality one, and maybe break top half, although that's been a bit optimistic. Although we did reach the round of 16 against Las Palmas, we didn't really have many players score many goals as Darwin Nunez. It is amazing to see, as I might have a Uruguayan in the back of my mind to sign later on, but for now we're going to keep going with some different kind of failed Wonderkids. This is the last failed Wonderkid video, so for that occasion, can we hit maybe 1k likes? And this is a long beg, I know, but if we could hit 60,000 subscribers before FC26, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Please a budget, please a budget. Yes, finally La Liga quality, £29 million. First year, we did get a La Liga 2 budget, because obviously in real life, that's where they are in FC25. Now in FC26, they should be in La Liga. Let's hope they survive like we just did then. And could mid-table be a realistic shout with this team? Well, have we lost a midfielder? Columbeto or something? I recognise he's gone. We've got Cardero now moving into cam. He's only 21. We can use him. Then Chara is only 24. Viñas, we know, can score goals. Even Hassan on the right's only 21. So Almiao, if we could get another striker, another central midfielder and centre back, I think we could be pretty sorted. But then again, I forgot about Barry, who I am training as a cam, but also maybe could go up top. As it takes 74 weeks for a cam, what about a striker? Well, 42 weeks. So he could actually be our front man. We could even have Chara as our cam man. It depends where we actually want to play him. And then Cardero on the left. We've got a right footer on the left to try and cut in and score some finesses, which I love to try and do. And the man on the right, Hassan, is left-footed. Perfectly working out because I like my left footers on the right-hand side. And vice versa. As I'm thinking centre-back this season, you know who I want to sign. But then Marco Esteban, he's only 18. And for an 18-year-old with them stats, almost breaking the 70 pace, he really does have a big future. Probably need to loan him out a few more times, but he could be the next Ramos. As for now, let's just sign who we wanted to sign. The man who was rumoured for big things over in Germany, now stuck at Mönchengladbach, Julian Weigl. And it's good because we have the option now to maybe play him as a central midfielder, CDM, or centre-back, which I think I'm going to start with. Or maybe I'm actually wrong, because I wanted him to be at the back, but then 510 weeks to train as a central defender? No chance, absolutely. So I'm probably going to wait on our youngster Esteban, loan him out. I'm going to put him into the centre mid slot, as I think Seoane at the side of him's probably good enough for now. I do rate this team to grow. It's just about finding more failed Wonderkids. And with us signing 3 English in Season 1, 1 player for 12 million this season, I'm going for quality over quantity. And being in Spain, why not go for another La Masia graduate who didn't work out at Barcelona? We've gone ahead and signed Carlos Perez, who was cheaper than I initially thought. So actually, I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go for the Romanian Octavine Popescu. And I know what you might be saying, Max, why have you brought this guy in? And plus, he's only 23. How the heck is he a failed wonder kid? Well, he's a failed wonder kid to me, because a flashback to when, I think it was 3 years ago now, I did a Grimsby Town FC22, or FIFA 22 save, I should say. I'm trying to rack my memory, but this guy reached a 90+ potential rating, and he was phenomenal. So yes, I remember him for the good times, and now he's not really got that much potential as this team does. Yes, defense we're clinging on to Chambers and Holding a little bit too much, both over 30, and also we have lost a winger. Hassan's gone to Everton, and I won't stand in his way at all, because A, that is money, and B, we've already got replacements in mind. Alex Cadero, one of them, who's younger, hit the same overall. We've got Chira, who goes onto the right. We've got Louis Barry, who needs to be a striker, and Perez, who can go on the right, but I'm going to change him to a cam, 82 overall. Then Cadero will go to the left. Going to leave Chara now as a right mid and change Popescu to a right mid as well, because he's only going to be a backup man, with Louis Barry going to an 81 striker at only 22, which is great stuff. But now I'm seeing a lot of our good players are wingers and strikers, not many centre mids. Could we maybe go to a formation like this one? Maybe we could go for this. I mean, it's so hard to actually choose a shape to play. We could drop Perez down into the middle, although that really doesn't help him at all. We've got Barry, who could be a cam maybe. Switch this around a little bit more. Like so. We could get Popescu in here. Maybe Chara could be a cam. Maybe we could go like that. And then just work on our defence a bit. As speaking of working on the defence, +7 out on loaner, Ipswich Town for this man, Marco Esteban, looking magnificent. I think he's going to be here long term, but then again, in the long term, we really need to improve that. Fallen down the table to 16. It's weird because at the moment I'm actually focusing more on how the squad plays and lines up more than the finishers as we lose to Girona in the cup. As yes, still, I'm focused on position changes more than anything. Octavian Popescu stands more of a chance in the centre of the field than Carlos Perez, which is a shock to me, so I'm going to keep him in that cam position, and we did sell a winger last year. Hassan went over to Everton, meaning despite the league position, we should actually get a little more of a budget. £50 million. I didn't check how much Hassan sold for, but that is an incredible bit of money, and the board want us to step it up. They want European competition, the round of 16 of the Copa de España. A trophy I'm actually unsure. Does it put you into European competition? I don't know, as this is what the team looks like. We can actually shuffle it around a little more. Maybe to that. It's just Louis Barry now that I'm actually losing the position of, and I do not want to lose his potential. 23-year-old, blistering pace, and we can still use a centre mid. Defenders are so hard to come by. We've got Esteban, who could carry it, and Aaron. Could we get a new goalkeeper? I do know a few of them who could be classed as failed wonder kids, especially German and Italian ones. Scuffet was actually rumoured with big things at one point, as you're going to be when Buffon and Donnarumma exist in the same nationality as them. We have this man living in the same world as Ter Stegen and Manuel Neuer. Christian Fruchtel a while ago was actually meant to be a big thing, so we're going to bring him in. Hopefully he could take over Aaron. At the moment, just a rating below. He's got better kicking, better diving, and will jump into that slot. As the defense, I honestly don't know if I could improve much, as maybe we focus in this team with more players I actually do know are failed wonder kids, and they're further up the field in cam, in centre mid. Try and replace Popescu, as this will be a statement signing. I believe he's just made a move outside of VfL Stuttgart. Yes, he has. He's gone to Saudi Arabia, so that's kind of ruining his potential. In Europe, Enzo Malloy, but that would be a heavy amount of budget, especially this season, but I am going to hang hope on Enzo Malloy, go for 2 different players, and hopefully try and win a Conference League spot. As the first one, just like Callum Chambers and Rob Holding, it's Jeff Rene Adelaide, a failed Arsenal Academy graduate, who did work out in France for a little bit, and this guy worked out at Al Hilal, but now he comes back to Europe. It is the Brazilian Malcolm. He's been on the books of Barcelona before. It actually gives us a better cam. Barry now goes up front. Rene Adelaide could be that missing piece of the puzzle in centre mid. As when we make this change, which honestly I thought we'd be able to do by now, Rene Adelaide to a centre mid, we should be pretty sorted as a team. With ratings, yes, all over the place, but getting better is the main thing. We've got Barry, Malcolm, Carlos Perez, now Esteban. At an 83, he's gone up by 7 once more. The next Ramos is just getting better, as our top scorer was only Ilias Chaira. It was not Louis Barry at an 84, nor was it Vinyas. I have a striker in mind for next season, but maybe it doesn't fit in this shape. Unless we're changing positions around. Louis Barry could be a left wing for us next season. Yes, and Malcolm as a right wing. Big plans. Big plans to come in place. That should get them more goals and us up the table, but we're already up the table into the UEFA Champions League spots. Finishing 4th, we're in that group now with Madrid, Barca and Atleti. Do I think we cemented? No, I don't. I think that's a bit lucky. But hey, Oviedo in the Champions League at the 3rd or 4th time of asking. That is phenomenal. Now we just need a trophy. Wouldn't mind going and winning the Copa de España, which we did reach the quarterfinals of. Okay, we're getting better. The only problem is that defense, and plus Fructal hasn't been playing. But if we sell Aaron next season, we change the formation yet again, and bring in the striker that I want to bring in, I think we'll have a good season if we get all that done. As look at it. Look at it. Champions League for Real Oviedo. But when I flick to the side, the budget is £96 million. Or euros. That many English rebuilds, my brain is frying, as then we've got to reach the semi-finals. They do want a Champions League spot again, meaning no regression. And like I said, I'm going to try and sell Aaron, who is on the bench. Now, the defense is very weak, but we have a team carrier in the defender, Esteban. And maybe I have one more defender in mind. He's a fullback, but I'll change him to go into that centre-back slot. And then we do need a capable midfielder. Although the player I have in mind to bring in isn't one of those. And Rene Adelaide, still 2 weeks away. Now you can see why he failed at Arsenal. Not taking on instructions. The formation I want to go to is literally this one just at the side of it. More wingers, more attacks down the sides. With Louis Barry, who now is going to be operating as a left winger. Chiara's going to go to a left wing swat. That was meant to be a right mid. Made the wrong change, and Rene Adelaide, I have skipped a few weeks in advance to a centre mid. Still not the strongest. Then finally we've got Malcolm to a right wing to give us this. Now Perez, I'm going to probably make a right mid again. Chiara might be out the team. Unless he just goes on the left, we need a centre mid again. And then again, another big striker. Over Vinyas could be acceptable. I'm in 2 minds of actually selling him, because the player I do want to bring in is, yes, from the same nationality, as he has just left one of the biggest clubs in the world because it didn't work out for him, like it did for him at Benfica. Darwin Núñez here at Red Bull Leipzig, replacing Šeško, but now he has officially left Liverpool, maybe my last ever striker signing in the failed Wonderkid era. So in he comes, but with his price tag, we're gonna have to sell a goalkeeper, and Aaron is that one, because obviously I want Fructil playing, who is younger than him, as now we do have a solid bench, maybe not a very good goalkeeper, but Núñez now goes up front for us. Beautiful. And Cardero will even drop to the bench once we get another centre mid, because centre mid and defenders, I believe I found both of those very quickly. And the first one a bit of an off shout, but since he signed for Paris Saint-Germain, he's been loaned out to Bayer Leverkusen, never played over 20 league games. Nordi Mukiele signs on the dotted line from Paris Saint-Germain for only £20 million, leaving just enough for our last signing, which is another player who was linked to be the next Santi Cazorla at Arsenal. The Real Madrid star getting no love, but loads of play styles, Dani Ceballos. I got bored of waiting. We need a central midfielder who's a centre mid now. We have changed the positions of our wingers in Chara and Carlos Perez. We've got Malcolm now at a 90, a very good front three here. The defense still lacking a little bit. We've got Chambers now the captain at 33. However, Mukiele stepped in at centre-back. He grew. He only took 2 weeks, and if only he had a decent Frenchman in front of him, but René Adley won't grow, which is frustrating because I really thought he'd be a star for us, as Malcolm is. And of course, if he's gone up +5 at 31, he must have been extraordinary. In a league that has Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo, Malcolm had to step up for the Brazilians in the Oviedo side of town, as we've got 2 players in the team of the season. 2 ex-Barcelona failures in Louis Barry and Malcolm himself, who actually help us finish above Barcelona, albeit by a singular point. And it was goals conceded, obviously letting us down to 11 defeats overall, but when you've got a 33-year-old signed from League One in Callum Chambers, you're always in for a bit of a struggle, and we have struggled in the Copa de España, back down to the round of 32, losing to Girona. However, literally, the only aim of this Oviedo rebuild is to win that Champions League with a failed Wonderkid team. But 30th means no playoff round, absolutely honking the league phase. And now to find some more failed Wonderkids to get above 30th will be a challenge. As one thing I've not been doing in this rebuild is actually showing you how these players have failed Wonderkids, because not all of them are exactly failed right now. And that is because I wanted to do another one of these videos with the promoted Oviedo, and I've always had a list of failed Wonderkids, but that list is now full. Meaning every Wonderkid in these failed videos that you've seen on my channel, they've been used. I can't find any more, but that doesn't mean this 159 million will go on to any other players, because we're still going to stick with the failed Wonderkids. Maybe just at the moment, though, we do sign ones we've signed before, repeating what we've already done slightly, as they want the league winning, the Copa de España, and the Champions League final reaching, despite it being a low continental objective. It's still not very low, is it, to win the entire thing as goalkeeper? That's the position I can't find a player, but centre-back, I can repeat a signing, as Ethan Ampadu flew onto my radar, Leeds United centre-back. I've said this many a times before, but I saw him make his debut for Chelsea in 2018, I think? Around that time, when he still had the long hair like he does in his FC25 face scan, as he enters the defence straight away. 2 84s are now an 85. Like I said, goalkeeper I can't find an improvement for, but Ceballos, I completely forgot about a midfielder we visited previously in Enzo Malloy. Left-footed, so could go to the left. A Frenchman, I did just say Mukiele needed a French player in front of him. So this quick transfer window will be dubbed the long hair one, as we've signed 2 players with big throws, and Malloy is through the Oviedo door. And there is no messing involved. I wanted him, I got him, same as Ampadu. They both look like they've got less hair in their pictures, but then a lot in their in-game faces. And then Mukiele's gone to an 88. He's caught up with Esteban, which is impressive. Our right-hand side is very, very good. However, I noticed that someone wasn't there, and it's someone I wanted to keep for as long as we actually rebuilt for. And he's gone up again to a 92 as Chira. No wonder Liverpool wanted him. At least we do have a replacement. He can't play actually left mid, but I'm going to put him there in Popescu. Romania's time to shine here, as the goals have been shared around a little, and he did get quite a little bit of goals. 12, same as Malcolm. Malcolm providing the assists, as if we can't find another left mid. Next season we'll rock with that. We'll try and change his position right from the off, as only in goal looks our dodgy position, but then dodgy in the centre because no one, and I repeat, no one wants to be a centre mid after a season. They like to take the bloody time with it, as we've gone and done it. Oh my days, is that close, but 1 point over Real Madrid means not only are we the best Real, but we're the best team overall in España, winning that league. But then in the Supercopa, Villarreal beat us 2-1. Deportivo beating Madrid. And we don't like the Copa de España. Actually allergic to the competition, Real Betis winning 2-1. But at least this year we got into a playoff round. Yes, it's disappointing again. Bayern Munich, Sporting, Leverkusen, we're all struggling. However, we don't struggle against Milan in the playoff round. 4-0 before Dortmund, 2-0. You know I like beating Dortmund in career mode. And then in the quarters, 3-1 against Barcelona, which is interesting because Malcolm and Louis Barry, the rejects, have beaten them in Europe's biggest competition, as then we beat Arsenal 3-1 to put Real Oviedo into the Champions League finale against Paris. Oh, and this kit. Look at this kit that we're wearing for the finale. I do like the replacement of the blue for a bit of like an orangey colour. Yes, the blue is important to Oviedo, but it's nice to spruce it up. As Louis Barry, tackled by the defender. Eder Militao actually playing for them, as that's a towering header by Ethan Ampadu. But onto Jonathan David. Juventus man IRL, tackled by Esteban, who I'm still going for in the centre of the park, and that's a beautiful ball towards Nunes. Darwin Nunes beats the goalkeeper, the man who's just gone to Saudi Arabia after Liverpool, reignites his career here in Spain, and in the UCL finale, grabs a beautiful goal against the keeper wanting out of Paris. It's Donnarumma beaten at his far post. Brilliant strike is that one. Beautiful stuff. As now we need to keep going though. PSG, definitely not a knockover or a brush over, because just like that, Ampadu's out of position. It's a chip over the top from Kobe Mainu. And it's rash, it's reckless, and our worst player obviously is our goalkeeper. In Fructal, not a great response, letting them score straight away. So Enzo Malloy onto Weigl, cutting through the middle. They had a player similar to Weigl in Draxler, did Paris Saint-Germain, and that's a brilliant ball onto Darwin. Turns away and puts it over with a stinker of a shot, as now Enzo Malloy. He wins the ball back onto Weigl. Carlos Perez. Now onto our 90 rated Malcolm. Darwin Nunes just in front of him. Same position twice in a row, but this time inches away from that near post. Oh, sorry, far post, as Enzo Malloy onto Louis Barry again. He spins out. Enzo Malloy, nice 1-2 into Louis Barry. I'm trying to get him a bit forward. In the tactical side of things, I actually didn't put our wingers as inside forwards, but I'm playing them right now as them. I just thought going into this game when I saw it was Paris, they were needed, as now Malcolm. Look at that run from Nunes, just cut out by Hernandez. Another player who's made a move to Saudi Arabia like Malloy, who is nowhere to be seen, so we're going to take the shot on with Julian. Great stuff. And Popescu, I completely forgot about him on this side. He needs to get more involved. As Kvicha onto the field for Phil Foden, showing the depth that they have. They're not using failed Wonderkids. Enzo Malloy, pick out a good pass. It is into Darwin Nunes, trying to sneak it around the side, but Malcolm here through the middle. Nunes one-on-one, and Donnarumma stood absolutely no chance, with Nunes picking up a second with only 15 minutes on the clock. I genuinely love this kit, and I'm genuinely loving Darwin Nunes. The way he's playing, it's phenomenal. Deserdue, no! Hakimi with his forward runs, and that was almost another instant response, as Esteban gives it into Carlos Perel with his playstyle plus from the right-hand side, accelerating away. We had an hat-trick last time out with Eze at Crystal Palace, and Nunes just fluffs his lines. Terrible shot, but there is still room for another chance. That was almost through by Weigl. Kobe Mainu, the scorer for them. Just defend, lads. Defend like your life depends on it, because your career's revival do. You really want good players before you came here. Ethan Ampadu with the header away. It is hoofed away, and the final whistle follows, bringing an end to this very tense game against Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know why the scorers say 2 goals to Kobe Mainu, but we know what we've done right here. No, the scoreboard can't tell us we have lost this game. It's a Champions League win, with Julian Weigl lifting the trophy and unfortunately bringing an end to the failed Wonderkid rebuilds of FC25. More may return for FC26 if some more Wonderkids fail, and of course, we repeat some of the transfers with different teams in next year's game. But for now, thank you for watching these failed Wonderkids, and if you only watch these, maybe check out these videos on the channel for more content you may or may not like.